What's up, everybody? We are live again for a full week and a half in a row of live streams, Monday through Friday, here with the Capital Mindset, and energy is high. We are just going to go start our live on Binance as well, so Binance people can tune in. And yeah, it's just a fantastic time in the market. So much energy. I mean, we are just pumped right now. We had a really great live stream. It feels like every time we do it, we just time it pretty perfectly to where, like, if people had acted on what we had spoken about, they would be in profit. I mean, that's just the kind of market that we're in right now. We are going to go over that today. With some strategies, as we have our leverage trade analyst on for a special treat for you on Friday, for you guys to learn a little bit about the tips and tricks of leverage trading and how to maximize those gains through those types of strategies, which we do in the group. And today was going to be the last day of our 20% off flash summer sale, but actually now we extended it one more week due to a lot of feedback from members. They wanted a little bit more time. So we're giving you one more week and we are so pumped. So the link is in the description below. Rob is our lead leverage analyst trader who's on the stream today as well. So you can get to know a little bit about how he operates and the kind of charts that he posts. But first off, I have to do my tradition, which my tradition is Bitcoin made another all-time high, so I'm going to have to cheers with my all-time high vodka. I'm not going to do this every time. I mean, it's a good problem to have that every time we're on the stream, Bitcoin's made a new all-time high. But cheers to you guys. Cheers, Rob. And today I'm drinking the English raspberry lychee all-time high. And guys, don't judge. It's 5 o'clock here in Spain. It is happy hour time. But, I'm doing this due to the special time in the market. It's just my thing. I'm the co-founder of ATH Vodka, all-time high vodka. And there's never been a better time to toast and to cheers to you. So really excited for that project. I'll keep you posted on that. But first off, as we're letting people join the stream, Andrew, what's up? We can always count on you to bring in the energy. Okay, let's see. Andrew says, I've been leverage trading in BTCC, made my first 200%. Congrats, Andrew. That's big. That is big. I'm sure our leverage trader, Rob, will give you some kudos on that when he jumps on. Okay. Real Ice Bear. Anybody know where this is from? Skull. Any idea? That is from Europe. The Swedish say it. I'm pretty sure my husband says it. So I don't know if you're in Sweden. Yeah, it's a Viking thing. It's totally a Viking thing. So let us know where you're tuning in from, Real Ice Bear. But yeah, Skol. I like it. We're learning a lot of new languages because we have a lot of subscribers from around the world. Yesterday we had Belize, Australia, SoCal, NorCal, Europe, I don't know, all kinds of places. So we are international here. It is so much fun. And we're just letting a few more people join so we can maximize this stream to give you guys all the juice that we can. Canada. Okay, Canada in the house. What's up? I like it. Guys, let us know you're tuning in from. We want to see all the countries. Of course, I'm coming from sunny southern Spain. I was going to say California. I'm a California girl, but I live in Spain. And Rob, you're in Pittsburgh, right? Somewhere around there, U.S.
Yep, I'm in the Pittsburgh area.
All right. Representing the East Coast. Let's go. It's got to be beautiful there this time of year.
Oh yeah, definitely real gorgeous. Definitely all the hills and stuff like that. Storms are finally just ending. Good time to just enjoy the outside, go down the rivers and creeks, and enjoy the water.
Fantastic. Yeah, you got to remember to touch some grass. I know people are glued to their screens right now because it is a very exciting time. But that's what we've been working up to. I'm going to say it again. These next 4 to 6 months can be absolutely life-changing if you apply yourself, if you learn the skills, if you just stay laser focused. Hawaii 808. We all know that area code now because 808 Mimis is always tuning in. We can always count on her. Hold on, Real Ice Bear. You're from Maine and you're saying Skull? How do you know about Skull? That's how we say cheers in Viking land. Yeah. Okay, I am going to get into a few headlines before we kind of get digging into the charts, but today is a special one. So the title of this is Bitcoin, the price prediction you need to know. Basically, how high can we go? That's cool. It was like a poem. It rhymed. So we're going to zoom out on the macro and actually give you a broader vision of where we're headed, because sometimes it's easy to get too zoomed into lower time frames. I mean, where we're headed on the macro is just astounding. So the possibilities for this cycle and potentially that super cycle that we've discussed, they're pretty crazy. So altcoins also looking really good. And we got Arizona in the house. Cool. Never been to Arizona. Always wanted to go though. Heard that's also very beautiful. So that's what it is. And we're going to go over a few charts to like show you that macro cycle. And then we're going to get into chart requests. So have those ready because today is the day. Your burning desires, all the charts you want to see. We've got two of our top analysts from the trading group here to help you out. It's truly a gift and a gem. Get those ready, guys, as I'm getting into the news. So I'm just going to share my screen for a minute just so we can all see it together. 1 second as I get this up here. Let's see. Yep. All right. And now I'm going to add it to, yeah, there it is. Okay. So can you see my screen okay now? All good? You should see it. Yep. Okay. So basically, Bitcoin just hit a new all-time high of 118,000 and change, and that's why I'm toasting with the all-time high vodka. So we all know that things are heating up, right? $100 million worth of cryptocurrency shorts liquidated in the past 60 minutes. A lot is going on right now. The bears are getting wrecked. This is one of my favorite headlines. German government's decision to sell 50,000 Bitcoin at $54,000 cost them $3.1 billion in missed profit. Guys, you do not want to be on the wrong side of history here. Like that is not what we want to do. That you want to be on the right side of history. I talked about this yesterday in the Charles Hoskins and stuff. It's like actually being on the wrong side of history could have cost the Democrats the vote, right? And now we know that small percentage can actually move the needle. So it's a different time that we're living in now. And we truly, Germany fumbled the ball. That's all I can say. That's going to go. They literally sold their Bitcoin for fiat money that they can print. Now, tell me if that makes sense in the comments to you, but clearly they don't understand the concept of Bitcoin, right? That's just what I'm saying. And next, and this kind of goes with what Rob was saying. We were talking on the stream earlier about kind of strategies and what we're looking at. The Binance founder CZ says Bitcoin is still in a dip. If you've missed the previous dips, there will be dips in the future too, and we are still in one now. So that's pretty interesting, right? Because everybody's kind of like expecting Bitcoin to just come crashing down, or when is the big, zoom out. These are all going to look like blips on the radar. That's what he said recently. And it's going to be so. I'm very confident of that and in where we're headed. So I'm going to get back now. Trip, how we doing? Are we just about ready to get into the analysis portion?
Yeah, we're going to start with some results over the past week that we've had from the trading group so far, though.
All right, so let's read a few comments before we get into this. Southern California. Oh yeah, Andrew's in Southern California. What part? I might be near you when I go back there. Been awake since 4:30 a.m. Can't stop looking at the chart. Sound familiar? Anybody? Sound familiar? No, everybody's getting up early, staying up late. SXT. Okay, realized bear. We'll have to look at that one. Mimi, yes. Okay, squeeze the shorts. I agree. Gold, CL Oracle says gold, silver, and crypto, especially Theta. Oh, you're the Theta gang. All right, now I understand. Silver is killing it. Yeah, silver, I talked about it a long time ago on my YouTube, so I was like highly undervalued and very manipulated. But that's a whole talk for another stream. Baby Whale Shark reposted the stream. Thank you, Baby Whale Shark. Kudos to you. Thank you so much for supporting us, guys. And on that note, let's get into some charts with Trip. So let me pull these up here now. All right, take it away.
Yeah, so this is just the update. We posted most of these setups that we were talking about in our previous streams over the past week or two. So here's Saga at the top left for 50% gains. We had XLM for 31%. Pangu at 119% since the very bottom of the break of this channel. XRP moved for 16.4%. Peanut for 27%, Ethereum for 37%. It's kind of surprising. Ethereum had a really decent move, even compared to most other altcoins. ADA went for 36% and HBAR at 28% already. So it's been a very exciting week. A lot of these moves are very quick. Most of them happened pretty much overnight for the majority of this move so far. So it's been great trading in the trading group.
Right. No, that's phenomenal. All of the top gainers, guys, week upon week after week, Capital Mindset nails the top gainers, at least a few of them within the top gainers repeatedly, consistently. And that's actually what the trading group is for. It's to help you get into the best setups, right? When we're in this kind of market condition, it's not about like which altcoin is going to go up. It's like which one is primed and ready for the best setup. And that's what our analysts do for you. They help you find the best setups to maximize your trades. So the link is in the description below. We'd love to have you join us, change your life during these next 4 to 6 months. Absolutely. This is what we're looking at, guys. This is what we're looking at. So there's a lot of different strategies. We're going to make a whole video just on trading strategies and investing strategies. But yeah, nailing all of the winners. This is phenomenal to see.
Yeah, so next one we're going to look at, we're just going to do an update on a couple of them. The first one up is H-bar. So we were talking about this double bottom. The trade we had talked about recently was this ascending triangle or this inverse head and shoulders, whatever you want to call it down here. Either way, we're just looking for a break above that resistance. And that was the one so far from the break of just this resistance alone. That's about 27% for H-bar. So now if you're looking for an entry into this structure or into this pattern, you're looking for a break above this key resistance around 21 to 22 cents, and that's the neckline of this double bottom. Once this breaks, we could expect the measured move to be up near the 2.0, and that's near 31 cents for H-bar. So a lot of this stuff is really just confirming their bottoms, and it's on their first step higher, but there could be a lot more room to go. These could be much bigger patterns on higher time frames that could go beyond what we can see on this chart, like way into the numbers up here, higher still to go. So we're really just trading in the group what we can see in the short term, and then we're confirming each of those moves with what Bitcoin is doing. So when Bitcoin had its breakout, or we could see the breakout coming, that's where we anticipated that it was time to start entering into these structures here closer to the bottom of the first bounce. So now we're starting to get that move. We're starting to see moves towards the next key resistance level of most of these charts. So the next one we're going to look at is Bonk. Bonk, same thing. We had a break above this level and it touched this resistance. This is basically a cup and handle. So if actually we can draw this in really quickly with the arc pattern. So here's your cup and here is your handle. So pretty decent pattern for Bonk, right? So we're looking for a break above 0.00024 for Bonk at the resistance of this cup and handle neckline. And then we're looking for a 66% move up to this next resistance. And again, same thing. These patterns could be a lot bigger than what we see down here on these lower time frames. Even the 8 hour is still considered a lower time frame. And when you start to zoom out, there's a lot more structure going on. You know, essentially these whole structures could start breaking their highs up here. And that's when the bull run really starts taking off and everyone gets excited.
Wow, that's phenomenal. I know H-bar. I'm super bullish on H-bar. They are working on a lot of institutional things, and I just know, like I said yesterday, part of the group and part of this whole thing that we want to do for you in the value that we provide is that I give you tips and info from my world tour, and I've been sitting down with the H-bar team, and man, it is phenomenal what they're working on in the background, and a lot of that is going to start to play out pretty soon. I think like getting more traction as the bull run continues to go full-fledged. And Bonk, I know a lot of people are also asking, okay, everything's already popped. Am I late to the show? This is what we do. We look for not to get in the middle in the chop, but these key support and resistance areas where, Bonk is now primed. And these are the kind of setups that you can hone in on. I know a lot of people are saying, well, where do I get in now? That thing that already took off. Well, this is what we're trying to do here on the stream. So let's just read a few comments here. Hopium Days, H-bar is so undervalued. I absolutely agree. I think H-bar is going places this cycle, and my portfolio is set with that, my long-term as well. Steven says here, what will be the entire market high at the end of 2025? That is the golden question, right? The $1 million question. A lot of people are saying that, we could reach a total market cap of 8 to 10 trillion by the end of this cycle. I know in the podcast I'm going to drop with Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, either today or tomorrow, he says that, bringing DeFi to Bitcoin is going to be a potentially $10 trillion opportunity by 2030. So like end of this cycle, that's kind of like what we're looking at. Christopher, okay, Trip and I want to know, Christopher, you're saying you're about to bring in the A-team. Who is this A-team? We really want to know what this means. We see it every single stream and we still don't actually know who they are, but they come through and they're really cool. And we just want to know what's going on there. But yeah, we're happy to have you, A-team. John S., when do you think the cycle ends? We've gone over this question also, John, and we're going to get some more and more episodes on this as well. But the traditional 4-year cycle would say that Bitcoin tops somewhere around October and November, right? That's just the 4-year cycle, how it's always been. Best time to buy is, 6 months before the halving and sell 18 months after, something like that. But it seems that potentially Bitcoin could be acting more like an ETF or like an equity. And we're just going to go up and to the right with correction periods along the way from here. So potentially that 4-year cycle isn't happening. So let's say if it's still the 4-year cycle in play, that the same that it's been the past few cycles, then maybe we could expect to see a Bitcoin top somewhere around October, November. But it's more and more, the further we get into this, the more and more it looks as though things could be different. So that's all I'll say, but we'll monitor it in real time and see where we're at around, October area, end of September. But yeah, that's what we're looking at there. Yay, A-Team, 808 Mimis. Are you part of the A-Team? Real Ice Bear, you're also the A-Team? Who are you guys? I need to know this. But yeah, we're going to take a break from comments for now because I want you to see this ADA chart and also some other charts that Trip has planned. So let's get back into it.
Perfect. Yeah, we're looking at the ADA chart that we posted on June 23rd. So we were getting right in at the bottom down here at the support entry. And that was near about 54 cents or so. And now we're going to fast forward to where we are now. And we've had about a 42% move. It's actually still climbing a little bit. So now we're at about a 45% move since this support entry for ADA. So that's another one of the strategies we use in group is not just trying to buy breakouts. We're trying to get in closer to the bottom of these structures just because your risk management is a lot better when you're closest to the support. So that way your stop's not going to get, you're not going to get wicked out with the stop. With the price moves too violently when you start getting near these resistance levels. So trying to get closer, getting in closer to the bottom is definitely the safer way to go. Really, we have to calculate when this bottom is coming according to what Bitcoin is doing. So there's always a little bit of a balancing act going on between Bitcoin and altcoins. And that's what we're focused on mostly to capitalize on most of these bigger gains in the group. The next one we're going to look at, just the Bitcoin chart 6 hour. This is just a quick update. We've posted this chart a number of times already on these previous live streams. We were looking for this break above this gray resistance zone, and this red dotted line just represented the tops of these candles in this zone here. So it looked like we were about to fake out. Bitcoin had a break above the channel. It came down and retested, and then it poked back up and hit this resistance again and came down another time. And that's when we were starting to get a little worried. Everyone was like, well, is this really going to continue and keep going? But then the bulls showed up and were able to push it higher, much higher above this resistance. So now the 6 hour chart is looking really good. We had a break above the 1.272 fib level at about 115,000. The only bearish idea that I can see for now is maybe you get a retest of this level, but I also don't think that the structure from here is really going to stop anytime soon and go back into another consolidation, at least nothing like this where it lasted a couple of 2 to 3 months or so. I think we're really starting to start seeing more of a climb towards the upside over the long term.
Right. No, and it's funny that to think about the fact that you're saying the potential bearish scenario could be Bitcoin at $115,600. I mean, think about that. Let that set in, guys. Let that set in, right? Like where we're at in the cycle. And we had some questions yesterday from members in the group. James on X, thanks for tuning in. I didn't see your X comments until I had to scroll up here, but they were wondering why they can't see all the comments. I think they're on my X page. And just shout out to Samuel. You're always there to support us. We really appreciate you. You're awesome. We love your energy. And James says, waiting for the pullbacks now. I mean, it's dangerous at this point to wait for pullbacks. Yes, that is the thing. But how far back? Like, I think people are kind of wanting it to pull back in a huge way. And I'm not sure they're going to get that right at this stage and with all the momentum that's happening. But yeah, I mean, obviously waiting for pullbacks or breaks above key resistance areas is, the plan to get in if you're not in on the trades you want to be in already. I'm going to test something out here. Let me just see if I show the comments on stage. So it says that the comments will now appear on the screen as they come in. We'll just test that out. So let us know where you're tuning in from so we can see it up here in real time. And I think that'll be easier for people to engage because that way you guys can, get to know what everybody else is thinking, what's on your mind, and we can kind of like get all the comments together. But yeah, A-Team. Okay, so Watchman's part of the A-Team too. Hopium Days, A-Team here. We still don't know who they are. Nobody's telling us who they are. It's a mystery. But all we know is that they're really, really cool. Okay, Trip.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, as you were just saying too, though, people always wait for the pullbacks after the move has started, and really, it's these are those pullbacks. It's these consolidation periods. Those are your chances to get in once you've seen the big moves higher. I mean, we were down here before, and when we started taking off from this area, people are asking, well, I'd rather get in on a pullback. And these pullbacks were mostly sideways, mostly sideways, mostly sideways. And then we entered into a deeper correction. So people always seem to be chasing the move after the dip has happened. So really, you got to be a little more aggressive on saying, okay, this is a dip. We're in an uptrend. I should be buying on the dips within the dips. So down here would have been one of your entries. Down here could have been one of your entries. Really, it's anywhere within inside of this range you want to start accumulating again. The bigger picture for Bitcoin is extremely bullish. So you have to take these for granted when they happen, and we have to take advantage of them when they do show up.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, this is go time, guys. This is like all hands on deck. Just forget about everything else. And I'm obviously almost mean that in a literal sense. Like, this is what we've been waiting for. And these, I just can't stress enough how potentially life-changing this time in the market can be. If you're new here, you're going to find out. If you've been in this, market for a while, then you know, and this is the time to reap the benefits, right? So let me know. I think you can see all the comments now up on the screen, which might be helpful. James says, Tripp's fib extensions are great when in price discovery. That helps so much. Yes, I think that's one of Tripp's biggest strengths, and also like the fib time extensions. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but I think you know what I mean, Tripp. Those are phenomenal. Pipeline. Hey, Megan Tripp. Sorry, I'm late. No worries. You're never late you're still early. No, you're just right on time for the party. BP Kolar. Hey, what's up? Skull. Let's go A team. Pipeline's part of the A team too. All right, let's go. I guess we're the A team. Yeah, so let's have a look at Bitcoin dominance. I mean, that's the most beautiful chart I've ever seen. That's bearish.
Right. Yeah. The dominance chart has been looking pretty good. So again, over the past week, we were watching this descending triangle. It has now broken to the downside. We said we were expecting a bounce, at least on this support. Maybe we would have got a bearish retest, but it didn't even come up that high. So this seems to be more like a parabolic drop to the downside. You're getting very quick moves on altcoins as this just keeps building these big red candles to the downside. So dominance next support we're looking at is around 63.75%. We could see at least a short-term bounce from there. But as we talked about too, looking at the bigger picture here, right? This is our 1 week picture for Bitcoin dominance. And we had this bearish divergence on the RSI near these overbought conditions. And the one thing we wanted to see was a break back below the point of control. So this point of control is this resistance zone. It really just shows where most of the volume is. Now, volume is a weird term when you're talking about Bitcoin dominance because people aren't really actively trading it. But for some reason, these levels still seem to be respected. And this is another key level that we've been watching. So now that we're coming back down below this point of control level, there's a chance that we could see Bitcoin dominance come all the way back down into oversold territory. And this would be your alt season. All seasons are just massive pullbacks on Bitcoin dominance. So in the range that it could take to go from overbought levels down into oversold, that's the time you want to take advantage of trading altcoins.
Wow. Okay. Then that's the answer to when altcoin season. Now you know. James says, seeing all the comments now, that's great. Andrew, thanks for taking the reins. Yeah, guys, smash a like, share the stream, help us get out there as we're, really wanting to make an impact here and reach as many people as possible. Thank you for that, Andrew. Would love to see, Watchman says, we'd love to see me hop into Austin's chat. Yeah, I'd absolutely love that. Let me know when he's live and we'll go there. We'll, raid the chat, say what's up, hang out again. XRP. Yeah, XRP is pumping. Let's go, XRP. We'll probably have a look at that in the stream. XLM is insane. I would agree with you, K. Rudman. Yeah, it's heating up. 295 XRP. Holy moly. Wow.
Tell me what's not pumping right now.
Wow. Let's go, XRP. I'm pumped. Let's go. Let's just continue with this stream because otherwise it's just going to be, I'm going to have to cheers again. Yep. Go ahead, Tripp.
Okay, no worries. Total 3. So again, we were looking for a break above this white trend line a little bit ago. I think this is on July 9th or so when we had that break. So now you've got that clean break above the trend line and the 200 MA on the daily. And then the next step we were looking for seems to be happening as we're talking about it right now. So this local resistance is the neckline of another cup and handle pattern. So we were comparing this similarly back to Bonk, right? Bonk had already kind of jumped the boat before Total 3 we had a chance to follow. So we're kind of using Bonk as a leading indicator for what Total 3 could be doing next. So we started drawing this cup and handle as well, saying, well, this could potentially be another rounded bottom type of idea, forming a cup with the handle. So now that we got this moving above resistance now, we want to see at least a candle body close above this level. And then we're anticipating a move up to the next resistance, and that's the $1.13 trillion level for Total 3. So from this level at the neckline up to that level, that's about a 20% move on average on altcoins. So that's a pretty big average though. Yeah, it's mixing some large caps, mid caps, if maybe even a little bit of small caps with that number. So some of the larger caps may not have exactly that much to go. They could be around that number or a little less, but the mid caps could still do maybe 30 to 40% within this move. So just saying 21% on average, that's a pretty flexible number. So either way, we're starting to see that uptrend coming for Total 3. The bigger pattern that we need to focus on here, I'm going to zoom out to the 3-day. And we've already got the 3-day labeled for this bigger structure. I'm just going to move this aside and take this out and take that away. And really, you can see that's a big ascending triangle that's starting to form. So we've had many touches along this bottom trend line. We've had 2 solid rejections at this upper trend line. So that's making me very confident that this ascending triangle is a valid pattern so far. So when you start to talk about the big structures and the big patterns, we look at the ascending triangle measured move, and that's closer to 2 trillion. So we could go from 1 trillion to $2 trillion for the Total 3 market cap on this move for the ascending triangle. So across the board, that's going to mean that most everything is going to at least double in price as an average.
Wow, that's big. I remember earlier in the airship when you were saying the same thing, we got right up there, that 1.13 trillion. We were on the verge, and you said if we break above that, it's, blue sky breakout. We didn't quite make it back then. Now we're on our way back up, but it feels crazy after all of these months of consolidation. Suddenly everything just pops. It's like, that's what we were saying on the stream a long time ago when we were recording videos, is you got to be prepared, because when it takes off fast, and there aren't like many days out of the year where stuff is just straight pumping, right? So you got to be positioned. Andrew, thanks again for telling everybody to like the stream. If you guys want more of this, we really do want to put a lot of time and resources into it to give you as much value as possible. And I just want to remind everybody who just joined that we did extend the sale to our trading group, The Capital Mindset. Link is in the description below. You get a 20% off. And now is best time than ever to join, to get right in there and get your feet wet. It's absolutely amazing. We have some of the top analysts in the space, and we're loving every minute of it. So thank you guys for tuning in. Megan Moss, what's up? You're back. I love having women on the stream. That's refreshing. I love all the men too, but like women, it's great to see you in the space. So hard to know when to take profits. I think this is something we should really focus on, because this is going to be key in the bull market. Is a lot of people round trip back to back to, the lows, and it's hard, mentally, and taking profits is one of the most difficult things, right? So it depends on your strategy and what you're doing too. So when Trip was saying that we could potentially double the value of alts across the board as an average, I mean, imagine what you could do if you're learning how to leverage trade and you know how to manage risk properly. And so there's so many different strategies and so many different time frames, that you can look at. So it really just depends on what your goal is. Are you a long-term investor? In that case, you'd be trying to look for topping indicators, right? Or, looking to other indicators that are separate from if you're a leverage trader and looking to have like swing trades within a few days to weeks. And some people even scalp by the hour, right? So it all depends on your strategy. If you're a long-term investor, there are different strategies for that. So we will get into that. But Trip, Rob, do you guys have anything to say in general on profit taking?
Yeah, I mean, I actually do post cycle top or profit taking charts as well too, with others, altcoins versus Bitcoin heat maps and stuff like that. That's actually one of my key ways of making money. I mean, you don't make money unless you take profits. Everything's on paper until you take profits. So that's kind of one of my key things is also with risk management, you have to know when to take profits due to you got to know that your reward's greater than your risk. It's going to be a lot greater than your loss, because if you take a loss, next time that you take a reward, it's going to cover that loss. And that's one of the key tricks to trading. I do that with small time frames to mid time frames to high time frames. And I do keep track of, like, if you go into our Bitcoin and index room, I do post cycle top charts to see how far away we are from a potential cycle top. Can't call them, it's going to be called the exact cycle top, but it's a potential cycle top idea. And when it gets there, it's like, hey, you might want to move up stop losses to very strong profits. If you're having trouble, you think we're going to go higher, at least move them stop losses up. Then you're good. Then you're golden no matter what. But then it's like, oh, you're getting you get like really strong signals. You can at least take out your initial or cut down your size, your position size. Still have some in a bag. Make your position free, so you're never going to lose money or something like that. So there's different strategies like that you can do as well too.
Right. Yeah. Looking for that cycle, those different cycle top indicators, I think is an overall good strategy for long-term investors. And also you can use that to time other things potentially. But Trip, I see you have something up here on the screen as well.
Right. Yeah. So we're talking about market cycles, and we're also talking about how big the trends are that you're trading. So we typically refer to a bear market as being the primary trend, which is on this picture. The primary trend is this gray line that's just continually going up. The intermediate trend is the black lines that are having these swings up and down along the way within the primary trend. And then the minor trend is your red lines that follow the intermediate trend, which is still following the primary trend. So if you're looking at it from a big picture point of view, you're going to be looking at the primary trend. And what we focus on mostly is looking at trend changing ideas. So when you're talking about taking profits, if you're in a bull market, really you're going to be waiting for the primary trend to be changing directions. So right now, we've been steadily going up with Bitcoin with this primary trend. It's getting higher highs and higher lows as we go along the way. So when you're looking for a profit taking idea, you want to make sure that the primary trend is changing. So instead of these higher highs and higher lows that it's making, you're going to look for the opposite to be happening when you start seeing your first lower highs and lower lows. And this could mean that you're not taking profit exactly at the top, but you're also taking profits closer to the top of the trend before it changes direction. This helps because you're not getting out too soon, and you're also waiting for the big decision to be made before it's like, okay, that's actually it this time, when you start seeing those lower highs and lower lows start coming on the primary trend. So the same thing, you're going to be looking at high time frame signals like maybe the weekly or 2-week, maybe even the monthly charts. And you're looking for those charts for divergences or overbought conditions. Those are your big trends that you have to pay attention to. So if you're holding for a year, maybe 2 or 3 years, you're definitely looking at those higher time frame pictures. And those are going to decide whether or not the trend is over and it's time to take profits. And then we go into another bear market cycle. But as we talked about, this cycle could be different. So we're still going to be watching these ideas, but there's a chance that Bitcoin ends up going parabolic for a longer period of time, and these corrections don't take as long as they used to. So things could be changing.
Yeah, and I really do believe that they are. I mean, time will tell, but it really, we're getting early signs as to they are changing. I mean, the space is maturing. There's much more liquidity, more money in the space than there ever was before. And eventually it won't be this volatile. There won't be these gains to be made as we get deeper and deeper into adoption, at least not anywhere near to the potential we have right now, right? So all of you who are tuning in now, who are engaged in this space now, I know that probably everybody's sick of hearing it, but you are early. You're not the first, obviously, but it doesn't matter. You're in here now, and you have insane potential to ride this wave. And I love this chart that Trip is about to show, because this gives you like much more of a perspective. I also get, like, when I'm really into trading, guilty of zooming in too much on the time frames, and you've got to just kind of like take a step back. So Megan, I think that's like what Trip was saying is, if you're going to look for those higher time frame changes in trend, you might not nail the very top. I mean, very few people do, and it's usually just luck, but you'll know at what point maybe to get out, right? And to start scaling out, or to start taking profits in a bigger way, which is what I think you were kind of signaling toward, Trip.
Right. Yeah. As I was saying too, it also prevents you from getting out too soon. So if you don't see those signals yet, it really just means that it's safe to hold on for a little bit longer. Really, you don't want to get out too soon and miss out on all of the bigger profit potential. And you don't want to be selling when it's already over and you're near closer to the bottom, where you get to that panic stage of like, oh no, I've pretty much given back 70% of all my gains. So you don't want to be in either one of those positions. So learning how to read the chart and knowing when a reversal is happening, that's probably the most important thing you need to focus on. The
Right.
number one thing that we teach in the group is how to spot a reversal. So that happens on small time frames, medium time frames, and large time frames. The charts are a fractal of itself. So everything you see happening on a 5-minute chart, 15-minute, or 1 hour, you'll see the same rules applied to the 1 hour, 4 hour, 12 hour, and you'll see the same rules applied to the 1 day, 2 day, weekly charts. It's all the same ideas playing out on different scales.
Right. And it's really great that we have you guys here as mentors today, because this is really valuable information. I mean, it's going to help you really master these skills and get much better at understanding when to buy, when to take profits. And Trip and Rob keep us updated in real time on all of this in the group. So you'll know, because you'll be on the group and Trip will be writing about it. So will Rob and all the other admins. So keeping you updated on the daily, which is phenomenal. Matt, I see Matt is anxious about Theta here. What is Theta by September? I wish that I knew. If I had a crystal ball, I'd tell you. But hey, what we did do was we went over a Theta chart in a previous stream, and we did some fib extensions just to kind of see where Theta could land. And we landed, I think, at the higher end of around $25. I do believe that Theta could blow past that if we're in the right conditions and we get, just really heated, because I think what Theta is doing is massive, and that it's a really bullish project. But, that being said, by September, I don't know when, but cycle end, which could be different now, as we could be just like trending into a different sort of cycle. Yeah, I mean, the higher end was $25, but I think it could go past that by end of year. Who knows? But we're hoping above $9.99 for the party like it's $19.99 in Thailand with Digital Day from Crazy Cryptos. So if you're going to that party, let me know. I'm thinking about it. Yataya, XRP is mooning. Yes, it is. It's so fun to see. Show us that chart stuff. Okay. So he wants more charts. I got it. I love you. I love when you guys talk about Theta. Yeah, there's a lot of Theta fans here, Kay Rudman. I'm also a Theta fan, so we'll talk about it till the end of time. I love the group. It's great. I've been learning from these guys since 2020. Thanks so much for that, Big Seki. It really helps that group members, they give testimonials and they tell other people, because it really is very valuable information. And we just want to change as many lives as possible, impact as many people as possible, and take you all on for the ride. So yeah, thanks so much for being here. Smash the like, guys, if you like it, and let's get back into it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, one thing I want to make a note on is that one of the hardest things to measure in any stock trading, crypto trading, whatever it is when the bull market comes, trying to measure the magnitude of a move and comparing it to time is next to impossible. You really can't tell how many whales out there are interested in the coin that you're trading and how much money they have to put into it and what other people have a vision of that coin to be, right? So trying to get into every trader's heads and be like, what do you think? What do you think? And then you put it across the board with the thousands of different traders that are trying to figure out the same thing. I mean, you're not going to get a very singular answer. So again, that magnitude question, it's probably one of the toughest things to decide. Bitcoin is often pushed beyond the limits of what people thought was normal. So when we were back at like $100 for Bitcoin, nobody thought it was even close to possible to get to 10,000, let alone 20,000 for that target in the 2017 bull run. At the bottom of this bear market, when Bitcoin was at 15,000, nobody expected it to get to 100K as fast as it did. We thought it was going to take a lot longer. So again, it's one of those questions it's got a lot of flexibility to it. We do have some tools that can measure certain amounts of it. But again, it really depends on how many traders are using the same tools the way I am or the way other traders are. So if you have a big disagreement across all these different traders, you're not going to get the same predicted outcome that you'd expect. So
Right.
that being said, go ahead, Rob.
To change the question a little bit, I think that's sometimes kind of the wrong question to ask. I think the best question to ask is, what should be my entry signals and what should be my exit signals, disregarding time or price sometimes. And you look at the price action and you look at the signals that you're looking for, either to enter or exit, no matter what the price is or what time of year it is. Because I took a break from trading for last month because typically like after May, it just slows down and trading gets kind of sideways. And I was honestly kind of planning not to start trading again until like August, September. But I got the signals like 3 days ago, and I jumped back on, started posting a bunch of charts and started trading. I'm already up significantly. But I think sometimes the question should be, what signals do we look for in order to take action signals?
I like that, Rob. Absolutely. Yeah. Just those I really like that synopsis. Absolutely. If you want to make money with Bitcoin, you need millions. No, that's not necessarily true, Taya. If you're trying to stack sats and like get rich tomorrow off Bitcoin, I mean, which first of all, you shouldn't be trying to do anyway. But if you're looking to like, create wealth through Bitcoin, it might not be the best tool for you more short to midterm, because it's not going to move like the altcoins, but you can leverage trade as well. Yes, if you know how to manage risk properly. Otherwise, a lot of people are looking to altcoins to sort of generate the wealth and then turn to Bitcoin to store the wealth, right? But there are many different strategies.
Well, that being said too, though, Bitcoin, if you had just bought Bitcoin at 15K and held it, you would have been in profit and pretty much not taken a loss if you didn't sell since then. Whereas the opposite is true for altcoins. If you bought them at their lows at the same time, many of them went up a little bit and came down, and some went even further below that support. So now you'd be almost neutral or barely in profit. So in that scenario, you should have traded Bitcoin first and held it. And then once Bitcoin dominance starts to roll over, then you shift into the altcoins. So then you've got a 400 and whatever percent gain it is now from Bitcoin. Let's actually measure it right here on the chart just to see how much it is up from the bottom. So this bottom down here at about 15K to where we are now, that's 635%, right? So you compare that to altcoins. Altcoins haven't had a steady growth like this the entire time. So really you want to start trading Bitcoin first. And this is the most useful time to trade it, is when the market bottoms. Bitcoin is usually the first one to go. Then Ethereum tends to follow. Then you get large caps following Ethereum. Then it trickles down into mid caps and small caps. This has been pretty much the same routine for at least the past decade, maybe. Pretty much since altcoins were created, essentially.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So if you would have bought and held, I mean, that's a lot of the strategy too, is buying and holding a lot of times is better for most people who aren't avid traders or active traders than trying to trade. But there's a strategy in a world that exists where you can do both. Right. So, yeah.
Right. So anyways, we're going to go back to this Bitcoin chart really quick, just because we're the focus of the video is to see how high Bitcoin could go. So we're going to focus on the last cycle, and we're using a log scale chart on the weekly time frame this time. So log scale gives you a completely different measurement. If I was to turn log scale off over here and then show you what the chart looks like, this double bottom, if you were to measure that double bottom measured move, it was up to about 25 grand. And that didn't come anywhere close to the actual top of where Bitcoin was. So if you turn it back on log scale, you can see that the log scale measurement for this double bottom was almost spot on to where that measured move was actually supposed to be. So we're applying that same formula this time. We're looking at this large inverse head and shoulders. Let me zoom out a little bit. Inverse head and shoulders, the measured move from this peak down to the bottom. So that's the top of the pattern to the bottom of the pattern. That measured move is now at $333,000 for Bitcoin. So again, if we were to turn this off on log scale and do that same measurement, I mean, you're not going to get that same move. It's only about 129,000 for this measured move this time. So again, that log scale number drastically changes what the charts can do. And if you tuned in yesterday, we were talking about ADA doing the same thing. If you had measured the move on a linear scale chart, the target was only about 30 cents for the last move in the last bull run. If you turn it on to the log scale chart, you got closer to the actual top around $1.75. And I think ADA peaked out around $3. So you would have missed out on a huge bunch of gains if you had just used the linear scale chart. So in my opinion, we should be focused on more of the log scale measurements over the linear. And that's where you start getting these ridiculously big numbers. But again, the narrative for Bitcoin right now is that everyone's trying to accumulate as much Bitcoin as they can. I've even seen the word, the race to accumulate Bitcoin. Now, if that doesn't sound like the most bullish thing you've ever heard, then I don't know what you're paying attention to. But there's a race to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. And there's a finite amount of it. I don't think we're going to have as much Bitcoin left on exchanges to purchase after this season is completed. You're really going to be paying for over-the-counter deals to private investors potentially, or there's even a chance you're paying a premium if you want actual Bitcoin. Otherwise, you're going to have to trade the ETFs just to get involved in the Bitcoin price action.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is wow, 300,000 plus on the log scale, long term. I definitely have a bag that I'm just not going to touch, right? Like I do believe that fiat is pretty much worthless and a Ponzi-nomic kind of scam. And yeah, it's hard money, man. It's capped at a set supply. It's finite. It's mathematical code. I mean, it's the perfect money. So yeah, it's heating up, guys. That's all I can say. And like CZ said from Binance, we're in a dip and we'll perpetually be in a dip, right?
Right.
And that's it.
The next thing we're going to compare to before I go to the next chart is I want everyone to pay attention to the structure here, this inverse head and shoulders. This left shoulder had more of a significant dip, and then it was followed by a deeper dip. But this right shoulder over here, see how it's more of a sideways consolidation? It didn't really dip as much as the left shoulder, so it's not quite too symmetrical in comparison. And then we're going to compare it to this current chart. This is only on the one-day chart. So remember, this is the weekly. This goes back to 2018 at the very beginning all the way up till now. This current chart is only measuring back to pretty much the middle of 2024 that you can see here. Now, the one thing you want to focus on is this same idea. You got this left shoulder, it had a very significant dip. And then you have that deeper dip for the head. But this right shoulder, same thing. It's not as deep as the other dips. This looks very similar on the daily chart as it does to the weekly chart back here. So this is a similar pattern that you're seeing. Basically, it's a fractal of itself. So if this pattern has already done this so far on the weekly, we might expect that the daily could do something very similar. So what we're looking for next is if we get this move up to the 1.272 fib level at about 121,000. In other videos that we talked about, the next psychological resistance for Bitcoin is around 120,000. We're looking at increments of 10,000 each. So 100,000 up to 110,000, and then up to 120,000, and then 130, and then 140. Essentially, is what we're looking for. Every $10,000 should be a psychological resistance that we're looking at. And then if we move to the next chart. The next one, just to give everyone a bigger picture of what's going on. In 2014 to 2017, we stayed within this rising channel for a very long period of time. And then once this channel was broken, we saw an even crazier move coming. So this was still, after the breakout of this rising channel, Bitcoin was still able to move another 600, almost 800% more. So if you compare to where we are now, I mean, we haven't really touched the top of this. We haven't even come close to touching the top of this channel yet. So I think, again, the bigger picture scenario for Bitcoin starts to get ridiculous. Even after the break of this channel, if we measure up that same 600 to 800% move, that's putting Bitcoin at ridiculous numbers. Now, again, I don't know how fast this could play out. I don't know if it's going to be the same magnitude, but the idea is that the bull run crazy stuff hasn't even started to happen yet. We haven't really seen the strong, straight green candles for week after week really take off yet. It's been more of a move higher, consolidate, move higher and consolidate, but the parabolic phase hasn't even started yet.
Whew, so what you're saying is this is just the beginning, and potentially that pump that you're looking at XRP that's so amazing is just barely scratching the surface of what could be possible in this space. And it makes sense, right? Because the Fed hasn't even started with the rate cuts yet. I mean, typically that's when the altcoins start to boom and when the whole space picks up, and we have not had that rate cut yet. That's astounding. And yet here we are. And yeah, there's a lot of gas left in the tank, a lot more than I think a lot of people think. So we got GM from Valhalla, another Viking in the house. Praise the All-Father for his divine insider trading wisdom. Yes. Oh, yes. Great stuff. Paradigm shift. Absolutely, K. Redmond. Everything is different. Everything is changing. And the world as we know it, I mean, the next 5 years, like we said in our other live stream with Kathy Wood in our ARK Invest report, could be the greatest wealth generation event in history. And we're alive for it, and we can benefit from it. That's phenomenal. That's so exciting. You'll be able to tell your kids, yeah, I was in that wave when Bitcoin first started and I got involved. It's cool. It's very cool.
Okay, so now the next one we're looking at is just a continuation from the last charts. It's just a comparison to 2014 to 2017 again. We had this arrow pointing at the 1.272 fib level, and this is a log scale extension from this high to this low. Same thing we did back in 2014 to 2017. You had an extension from this high to this low, and we were using the 1.272 level. In 2014, 2017, that was about $2,100. And once the 1.272 was flipped into support, then we started to see that rally to the upside continue. So recently, just in the 2021 to 2025 log scale chart, the current structure, we recently just flipped that 1.272 level into support as well, reminding us very much that it's very similar to what happened back here. So again, the measured move or the extensions up to the 2.0, which is pretty much where we hit last time, the 2.0 to the 2.272. That's the meat of the area that we're aiming for. So like we were talking about with the previous measurement on this chart, we're 333,000. Now that's starting to look like the same target area for here in the 2025 cycle. So I think there's definitely is a lot more room to grow. I can see Yatea saying that I'm a BTC maxi, and actually I trade Bitcoin when it's time to trade Bitcoin. I trade altcoins when it's time to trade altcoins. I really don't care what any of this stuff is or what it does. All I use it for is a vehicle to invest in, and that's all it really means to me. People might be like Bitcoin maxi thinking Bitcoin's going to change the world, and that could be true. All I see is 40% move, 200% move, 10% move. They're just percentage moves to me in my mind.
Right. Yeah. I mean, no, I don't think you understand, Taya, if you're saying that Wall Street owns Bitcoin and they can do whatever they want and then they can sell, so they don't need, I mean, it's just a whole different ballgame now. Actually, we're now allowed to get a Bitcoin backed mortgage. So therefore you can use Bitcoin as collateral to buy a home, which Proppy is doing now. One of the companies I'm involved with, Pro, we've charted out many times on the stream. You can now use your crypto without selling it to get a loan to buy a house. I mean, that's what the paradigm shift is. It's not just a store of value. Now you can do things with it. And that's the cool part about this. So, wow. Okay. We got some Viking language here from Real Ice Bear. I wonder what that means. Ryan, Theta all-time high would be fab. Yeah, absolutely. I truly believe it's coming for sure, either this year or next year, but within this cycle, I see that as a possibility, definitely. Yeah, okay, so we've got the parabolic curve up here.
Right, yeah. So this is just showing another comparison side by side just to see what that road to 1 million could look like. And this chart seems almost too unbelievable to myself at the same time because it gives a timeline that is pretty much just after 2026 where we could be near $1 million for Bitcoin. So again, it's unbelievable now, but we're going to be following this idea. So I just wanted to show you guys this idea now, just so you can plant it in your mind, think about it and say, okay, well, what if the most bullish idea comes out? Like, what if Bitcoin does become the new global reserve currency? I mean, these are the kind of charts you'd be expecting to happen if that scenario was in play.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Very cool. Very cool.
Next
Proppy in the house. Sorry. Michael T, you know it. Proppy is in the house. They just broke above their 200 daily moving average. Okay. Well, we'll bring that chart up later, but Proppy is very, very bullish. The measured move of the double bottom is around $7.75. So yeah, and doing amazing things. Back to you, Trip.
Okay, no worries. So this is another comparison. This is a more recent comparison. This is the Bitcoin 2-week log scale chart on the right and the current Bitcoin 3-day, I think this is a regular scale chart on the left. So really, we're just comparing price action here. And we had this chart drawn over the past couple of weeks. We were highlighting this area and we were saying that this consolidation in this green circle looks very similar to the one we have on the weekly. So this goes back to that fractal idea that Bitcoin tends to repeat on different levels of time frames or different scales of time frames, and you start seeing similar structures. So even the move up here was similar to the move up here. You had that same sort of double top that led into this downtrend. Even the bottoming pattern looks similar. You had kind of a double bottom. And here, same thing, more of an inverse head and shoulders this time. But the trajectory of all of these structures still seems to be playing out the same. So then we were looking at this green circle consolidation compared to the 3-day chart. And this move hadn't happened yet. But we were expecting it to follow in the 2-week log scale footsteps, and it has so far right now. So the next thing we're going to be focused on, if Bitcoin does pull back and we get a similar pullback to this area, I'm going to highlight this again now with the green circle. This is the next step we'll be looking for if you get that pullback entry idea. So someone's asking in the chat too, is this the pullback, the relief pullback that we're looking for? And it could be. It might be the beginning of some kind of relief rally, at least for now, for the
jump in real
downside.
quick. It looks like a pullback starting to happen, so be ready.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the idea here is we're going to keep comparing this idea, and we have other ideas to back this up. So we had used the time measurement tools like Megan was mentioning at the beginning of the video, and we're focused on this area. So if the 2-week log scale chart pulled back after that initial pump, then we're looking for that same pullback after this initial pump. And that would be the best possible entry you can get for this retest in this area. Now, to add confluence to the bounce here, I'm going to show you a couple of more charts. This was the parabolic curve chart that we had for the Bitcoin chart from the Coinbase chart. And what we're focused on here is this little section in this area. So one of the cool things that I've noticed, I think I discovered this idea. I don't really know. I haven't seen it anywhere else, but it's really about using time measurements and horizontal fib measurements in conjunction with each other. So what happens is you're going to create a grid-like structure on the chart. You're going to have horizontal lines and vertical lines. And at some point, these vertical lines and horizontal lines are going to meet. They're going to cross each other. So here was the 0.618 horizontal, and then up here, this was the 618 vertical time fib. So what we look for the most is that when you see time and price come together, that's when you're looking for the explosive moves to show up. So we had this chart drawn somewhere back here when we were still bottoming near about 30,000 to 20,000 or so. And then we were aiming for this massive bounce. We announced it in the group saying, hey, this is an inflection point where the 618 is crossing the 618. We could see a big move coming for Bitcoin here. And that's exactly what happened. We got that huge bounce where the 618 met the 618. So then we're going to zoom in again just to see exactly that move that we were talking about. It's pretty much right on the money. Right as soon as that inflection point showed up, that's when the price started to do its big reversal move to the upside. So the same thing that we're looking at here, this is that pullback that we're looking for, right? So we're talking about this pullback to support on this chart on the 3-day. And then if you compare it to this chart here on the Bitcoin 1-day chart, these are trend-based fib extensions. You have the 618 trend-based fib extension at 111,000, pretty much 112. And then you have the 0.618 vertical also coming into the picture. So the idea here is that if we do get that pullback, you're probably going to land right on that inflection point and get that bounce. So that's another idea that we focus a lot on. It almost feels like magic or sorcery in a way when you can see these dates coming far ahead, right?
This is phenomenal. Okay, this is some juice that he's showing you right now. Normally, we don't show this on the lives because, it's Tripp's analysis that he's been working on for years and years, but it's very cool because it gives us sort of dates to pay attention to, right? Based on... this is just very cool. It's like a map for Bitcoin is what we've said.
Yeah, this is one of the maps, right? So we have a bunch of different ways to draw such maps, but using time and price measurements when they come together, this has been one of the most powerful. So even still the same, if you look back at the 0.272 vertical line, right when it hit the 2.2 or 0.272 at the 0.618, that's when we had that first real pullback after this strong move to the upside. So even seeing this as an example, saying that time and price met here, and that initiated the downtrend, now we're looking for a flip of this resistance at the 0.618 and a retest to continue the uptrend. So that's the idea that we're focused on now for Bitcoin.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we got a few other comments here. The Economist, January 1988, says, K. Rudman, what did you mean exactly with that comment? Interesting. Michael, looks like you're trying to post a link, but we can't see it. Is it something that you tweeted? Then we have Automatic. I see ADA is printing a parabola too. Looks like base 2 just started. Well, maybe we can take a look at ADA during the stream. Yeah, very interesting stuff. But I'm loving these time-based measurements, right? Like, it's very, very cool.
Right. I think what he's referring to, K. Rudman, there was an article in Time magazine
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about a new one world currency in 1988. So that was probably what he's referring to there. I'm trying to find a picture of it right now. Can't really find it right now. I probably need to use better keywords. But yeah, they were talking about a new world reserve currency, a digital currency coming in 1988. So now we're starting to think that Bitcoin could be that currency that they were talking about.
Ah, I see. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
The last one we're going to look at, this is just the Bitcoin comparison to gold. So we had talked about this recently too, before the pump had happened. And now it's starting to look like we've narrowed down pretty much where we are. We could be right here compared to the gold chart from 1970s as we are right here. So you had this consolidation, the retest, a mini consolidation, and then the pump. So here, the same kind of thing. It topped out here, came down for the retest, shorter consolidation, and then the pump. So we could be really close to actually taking off into this type of a move coming for Bitcoin.
Wow. I mean, I love this chart because this just really is super telling, right? About what could happen. And what CZ is referring to is like buy the dip perpetually, right? Like we could go into a new paradigm of maybe not the traditional bull and bear markets that we've had when Bitcoin has been sort of like growing up in a very volatile asset, right? But I mean, volatile to the upside now. But what I mean is, I think we could be going into a whole new era which is a concept we discussed earlier on this stream. And yeah, it's pretty cool to see. So if Bitcoin follows anywhere in gold's footsteps, I mean, that's what we'd be looking at.
Right. This is actually the image he's talking about, I'm pretty sure. Get ready for a world currency.
Oh, so cool. Okay, Rudman.
Some people may have seen this before, but yeah.
Very cool. How did they know?
How did they know? Maybe it was all part of the plan, right?
Yeah. Very cool.
But otherwise, we can jump onto Rob's stuff or we can do some requests. I'm going to pull up, if Rob wants to start taking over, I can pull up a theta chart and a proppy chart.
Yeah,
I think everyone wants to see those.
Potentially ADA.
And ADA.
We'll just do some quick analysis on these guys so you can kind of get an update as to where they're at.
We can do ADA really quick. It's still here on my chart. I didn't go into the entry idea. We were just kind of covering where it had gone. Right. So ADA on the 8-hour chart, I'm going to move this price measurement. So yeah, if you already missed the breakout of the channel and you missed the support entry, right now we're retesting the 1-day 200 SMA from the bottom. And we've also broken above the 0.618. So there might be a support bounce coming for ADA. We get it on a retest here. But the next idea you're looking for that is a break above the 200 MA on the 1-day. So that's at about 75 cents. Nice round number for ADA. That would be your next entry. And the double bottom move is still up to about $1.16, at least on this chart, right? So again, these could be a lot bigger structures forming with much bigger moves coming. But at least within this range, this could be a good entry either on the breakout of the 200 MA or the pullback to the 0.618 and your target at about $1.16.
Absolutely. LB says ADA is the best. I love Cardano. I love ADA. I fundamentally, and the chart is looking phenomenal. I got in around the support level at 60 cents more or less and rode that wave. And I don't think Cardano's stopping anytime soon, you know, so it's looking really good. Everybody thinks it's dead until Bitcoin dominance drops. Are you referring to ADA or all altcoins? But yeah, I mean, we just went through this whole thing where people were just beside themselves saying that altcoins were never going to pump again and that the space was dead and this and that. But, you know, it's just how it is. Bitcoin dominance is got to pay attention to it. All eyes have been on Bitcoin. It's been the Bitcoin show.
Right. Rob, do you want to cover some leverage ideas here? And then I'll get the Proppy and Theta chart set up.
Yeah, I can go ahead and do that. Share my screen. Do I hit present, right?
Yep. Yeah, and so we will go over as well. Okay, we have another question here while Rob's getting that up. Apple and NVIDIA still no Bitcoin on their balance sheet. NVIDIA is too busy riding its own ultra AI bull run. Yeah, potentially. I don't know what's up with Apple. I think they'll announce something at some point. Do Theta, says Ryan O'Neill. Okay, Theta guy. Theta Gang is in the house. We're going to have to do Theta. So that's going to be a thing. I love seeing the Theta updates. I'm a big Theta holder as well. And yeah, back to your point about Apple and NVIDIA. Apple, I think, will be announcing something at some point soon. And NVIDIA, yeah, they've got their own stuff going on. I mean, wow, what a boom we're going to have for AI, and also the AI narrative in crypto. I believe RWA and AI are going to be the biggest. Rob, I see you're sharing your screen here, right? Let me add it to the stage. I got to remove this one first. Okay. Let me just get rid of this one first, and we'll add yours to the stage. Okay, let's go. Now for the leverage trading portion. Guys, this is a real treat. If you want to learn a little bit about leverage trading, Rob posted some excellent setups, so we're going to dive deep into this now. And if you have any questions, do feel free to stop us. Then we'll get back to Theta, Ryan, so don't worry about that. And let's take it away. We love you too, Watchman.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with H-bar just because I'm actually just getting ready to I just made this chart when I said that we might be getting ready for a pullback. That's just because most tokens are getting to the one-day SMA 200. In stock trading, I actually have a rule. I don't trade long unless we're above the one-day SMA 200. So most altcoins aren't even above that. So right now we are getting rejected there, and we have a bullish fair value gap. What is that? That's where liquidity is literally sitting at, and market makers usually like to take out liquidity before things keep pumping up because exchanges usually make money off of orders being filled. If there's liquidity there, the exchanges want them filled. Now, I do have an indicator that we do use sometimes in group as well, too, to help mark that. This green area is showing that bullish fair value gap. So that basically means we're in a bearish it just slipped my head. But this resistance level,
fair value gap, yeah.
No, not fair value gap. It's I'll think of it in a second here. But this resistance level right here that we're in, we're gonna come down. If we get rejected from here, which is lined up with the one-day SMA 200, we get rejected here. I'm going to go ahead and get my drawing utensil. I'm looking for a pullback buy into here, and I'm going to scale in down to the one-day SMA 50. And then I'm looking for a bounce back up. And then I'm going to start looking to take profits once we start making a higher high. And we haven't even reached the 0.5 Fibonacci level yet. So we have a lot of room to go up and to work in with H-bar. And this is for leverage trading. So this is more short-term trading. I'm not talking about long-term where it's going. With leverage, I don't really care long-term where it's going. I want to know for the next 7 days where it's going to be going. After that, I reassess it. So I'm looking for once we get down here, we'll be printing a higher low. And that's where that's usually my best and favorite entries is. And it's usually the best with risk management as well, too, because the breakout level on H-bar is going to be this block rate, order block. That's what I was looking for, order block. So the breakout level is going to be this order block right here. And that is at the level of 27.99. So we break that level. It's the breakout. Close above the one-day SMA 200. We're probably going to be hitting these Fibonacci levels. But as we go up into there, we can start taking our profits and stuff like that. But getting that pullback buy is going to give us a really good entry for a swing trade. And as long as we close above the SMA 50, the swing trade will be intact as well, too. That's going to give a very strong position and to get us a quicker move. And you can see the volume coming in as well, too. So we're getting volume to come in. And we just want to see if those market makers take out that liquidity down there. Those market makers take out that liquidity. We're going to have a great entry for a leverage long on it and potentially have I usually use 3 to 7x leverage. And that's going to give us some great gains on it. And it's going to be an easy trade to maintain. And those are usually my favorites because I have a busy lifestyle. And with a busy lifestyle, you need to get those ones that are easy to maintain, to where you can just sit there and move up your stop losses. And once we get this entry down here, once we break out up above the one-day SMA 200, you just put your stops in the profit and you let it ride, and you move as we break each level. You'll sit there, you'll look for it to break a level, retest it, and once you get down with that retest, you look to move your stop loss stuff. So that's one I'm actually just getting ready. I haven't posted in group yet, so this is one I just started making. Now another one that I made as well too. It looked like SHIB was getting ready as well. So SHIB's getting lots of volume. I already have this posted in group. We were looking for a breakout. That was on a different chart. I was double looking at it. I was looking at the 4-hour chart here. Now, the breakout level, this is an old chart that I made right here. The breakout level is we are getting rejected from it right now. So that's a good thing for me because I'm honestly not a very big breakout trader, but in these kind of market conditions, I will flip if I need to. But we already made a lot of money off some breakouts already. So there's usually some sort of pullback to get a good entry. You're either going to buy higher or you're going to buy lower on the pullback. You're going to buy the breakout, which is a little bit higher, or you're going to buy the pullback, which is usually on support. So what I'm going to be looking for on this chart here, what was it? 8-hour chart I was looking at. I posted in group. So we got a nice fair value gap right here. And I'm looking for this to come down, retest, maybe fake out a little bit, or play dancing queen, I call it, on the SMA 200 in the 8-hour time frame. Fill up this fair value gap for an entry. And my stop loss is underneath the 8-hour SMA 9. So that's going to get me some really good risk management. And we're going to be taking profits all the way along up against these order blocks right here. So looking very strong for SHIB. Hasn't done anything for a long time. I think it's going to surprise everybody and just do something out of nowhere, because I don't think anybody's watching anymore. And Luigi and some people stop watching things starts taking off. So I'm really excited on SHIB and SHIB right in this zone right here. I think we're going to get a good move on it. And SHIB has a high liquidity too. So SHIB's an easier one to get in and out with a higher capital as well too. So I really like SHIB in that area as well too. So definitely an easier trade to do.
SHIB looking prime for a breakout. Guys, if you're a little bit lost watching this, maybe you don't know how to leverage trade or you've never done it before, there are videos in our group that teach you how to do it. And there's chats. You can ask Rob anything, also Trip and all our admins, and they'll help you through it. But it really is cool because you get a different kind of trading style, right? You grab this liquidity that Rob's talking about with the special indicator that he uses, but it's just a different style of trading. And it's a more kind of like hands-on, less long-term, more short to mid-term trades, right? And so it's also actually pretty fun once you learn how to do it and you get into it. So yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you a skill that no matter what, like I think somebody earlier in the video said you can't make money off something in crypto or Bitcoin or something like that unless you have millions. No, everything's about compounding gains. It's all about percentages. Credit card companies make off money, a lot of money off like 1%, 5% interest, or debit cards or whatever. And you're looking at the percentage gains only, and you're looking to compound them gains. And the more you, like, if you just Google double penny a day, it takes 30 days to get up to $1 million. So, like,
okay, well, how about that for an example? And that's what leverage trading does. It helps you compound those gains faster, potentially, if you know how to manage risk, if you have the right setups, the right mentors. So yeah, absolutely right, Rob.
So yeah, just learn the skill set, start small and work your way up, and you will get financially free as well too. The biggest thing is making sure that you're not stressed when you're doing it, because your emotionals will highly affect your ability to do this. And I actually advocate taking breaks a lot from doing this as well too. And I always tell the group whenever I'm taking breaks or I'm not going to be doing something, it's because I need a break and go enjoy family life with my kids or something. So right. I think there's a time to trade, time not to trade, and right now is basically a time to trade. So what other trades was I looking at? So E&A was that. I think I did that in spot, but I think we had that in leverage group from one of our other leverage posters in there. Carnell is one that we nailed. I'm going to be looking at getting back into this one here. As you can see, I already have all this writing on here. Carnell is a small cap one, but I'm waiting. We nailed all targets on this one here. It's up of 28% plus. But I'm looking to see if we get a good pullback to the 6-hour SMA 200. If so, I'm going to be sitting there, and it's very simple. If we get a pullback there, you take entry on when we close above it again, and you put your stop loss up. There is a fair value gap that hasn't been filled yet right there. And since it's a smaller cap, you can expect longer wicks on it. So knowing the market cap is very good, or smaller caps. So smaller caps, you're going to the market makers take out liquidity a lot easier. So I'm hoping that we get that liquidity to the downside. Now, where my trade idea becomes invalid is if we close underneath the 1-day SMA 9. I make that a simple rule. We're underneath the 1-day SMA 9. I don't really want to open up longs yet. We're above it. I'm going to be looking to open up longs or look for breakout trades. So it's just a simple rule that I typically follow. Now let's go ahead. I had a couple more that these aren't trades I'm all in anymore, but so this is one I haven't posted yet in group, but I'm waiting for it to kind of set up. It's called Cyber, CYBER. Now this token here is getting a lot of volume on it. We broke out the trend line. I'm looking to see if market makers take out the liquidity here. Now, if you don't I'm hoping it comes all the way down here. It gets all the way down to the 1-day SMA 9 where this fair value gap center is. I'll definitely be taking entry down there and put my stop losses underneath the 9 or 12-hour 9. Sorry, but if I miss that as a long wick, that's okay as well too, because then I could sit there and see that long wick, and I could sit there and say the liquidity's gone. The risk of me getting stopped out or wicked out at a loss is less plausible at that point. I can sit there and take entry a little bit higher as well too. So right now for this token, for me, it's just a waiting game, but this is another one that I will be looking at, and it has very large potential to go up to the upside. And that's the other thing, where you zoom out to we start zooming up to higher time frames. You're looking at, all right, how much upside does this token potentially have? The 1 day supply zone is up to $5 or something. So there's a lot of room to get in here. The idea is to get into a zone to where there's the least amount of risk and there's a less probable chance of you getting stopped out at break even or a loss. And you can sit there and hit your take profits before your stop is hit. That's the kind of game that you're kind of playing in leverage trading.
Phenomenal. Wow. I know that could be a lot of information for a lot of you that haven't started leverage trading yet, but it truly is really rewarding and really exciting once you start getting into it, because you do compound those gains much faster than regular trading if you know how to manage the risk, if you learn the skills. A real ice bear. Oh, snap, got a meeting. You got to go. It's okay. We love you. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you, Crypto Megan team and Capital Mindset. Yes, thank you for being here. And yes, see you Monday. Of course, we're going to continue. If you guys want to continue, we're going to continue. As long as we get good feedback, we are going to keep going and drag you with us, even if you don't feel like it, because now is the time. And Rob, I know we're getting toward the end of the time here, because just there was so much to discuss. So I think we're going to have to take a break. Let Trip do the last two charts. Did you have one more you wanted to briefly go over?
No, not really. One thing I say is if you're not in the group yet, definitely get in. Right now is the perfect time to start learning, get your skills up to date, because I'll show one thing here that I showed in group. Let's see here. Let me find it real quick. This is something goes off what Trip was talking about with the fibs and stuff like that. And this is something that I kind of made up here that I saw somewhere one time, and I kind of just redefined a little bit. And this goes off of every cycle here. Every time in every cycle, we break the you fool the fibs for every cycle, and that's what this chart's showing right here. Anytime we break the 1.272 Fibonacci level in the monthly time frame, it typically every time so far in every 4 years, that's when alt season started. Like, that's just a fact. That you can go back test it yourself. You pull fibs from the very high to the very low for every single cycle. Anytime we broke the 1.272 Fibonacci level, that's when the altcoin started to take off. Right now, we're moving on it. Yeah, I call it the bananas. I took the term the banana zone and banana frenzy and made it into my own type of thing here to help explain it. So last season, we only got the banana spark, the start of it. We never broke the blue line, which is the 1.618, but every other season we have. So are we going to break it this time, only get up there? I have no idea. But right now we are moving on it. We haven't technically broke it yet because the monthly hasn't closed yet. So we break that in the monthly time frame. For me, this signal here with some other things I've looked at with Bitcoin dominance, it's go time. So it's like one of those times you got to learn, get ready. And the next few months, like I think you said earlier, it's going to be life-changing money. So
boom, life-changing money, guys. Rob, you know it. This is very, very cool. Thanks for sharing that with us. Yeah. We've been waiting a long time for this. We're so happy to welcome the new members we have in the group as of this week. Guys, you're in very great hands, and we're going to do amazing things together. That is for sure. So now is the time to give it everything you got. Invest in yourself and your skills. That's for sure. And Trip, I think we have like about 5 minutes to go over those last two charts. So Rob, thank you so much again for sharing that with us. And we'll be bringing Rob on again for more leverage trades. So let us know how you like that if you want to see more. But Trip, I'm going to go ahead and add your chart to the stage here as we have just a few minutes left to go over a few charts. But Rob, thanks so much for that. Honestly, that was really, really informative. And I think we could just do hours on just leverage trading alone. That is my favorite crypto show. Hell yeah. Let's go, Automatic. That's what we like to hear. And we don't often get Rob in the house. So it's been an extra long show today, but we just want to jam pack it with as much as possible. And man, I like what you said about the banana zone, Rob, and that we didn't really scratch the surface yet of that. Very exciting times indeed. So thank you. And Trip, let's finish up with the last two charts. Love the leverage stuff. Okay, Megan, let's go. Trip, I don't think we can hear you.
Oh, sorry. I was on mute for a moment.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, Megan, the leverage stuff is where it's at. I mean, I love trading. I have my full-time, my like bigger bags that I'm just packed and ready to go and just set it and forget it. But the leverage trading for me has been very exciting. And I think that you'll enjoy it the more you get to learn. And Rob is an excellent mentor, and there's some really cool charts there. So yeah, let's go.
I also teach on how to integrate it to like real life situations too, because I have a family, I take care of kids, I do a bunch of other things. So I'm not glued to charts all the time. Like, a lot of people probably think I'm always glued to charts, but I'm not. Like, I'm usually outside. I make charts on my computer when I'm at nighttime, when everybody's sleeping, and I update them, and I move my stop losses up on my phone when I'm out at the water park with my kids, or I'm out taking them to school or something like that. Or so I'm always busy, and I do it with like I said, I do it with a family. So anybody can do it. You just got to want it. That's all I have to say.
Absolutely. And Megan, go you, single mom. You're amazing, honestly. It's very inspirational to see you in here, tuning in, listening to this whole stream, taking in as much as you can. You will go places. You will make it. There's nothing that can stop you with that kind of mentality. So cheers to you. I'm going to cheers to you, actually, as we transition to Trip. Trip, take it away with Theta.
Yeah, Theta. So we're jumping in this really quickly. So we were talking about Theta over the past week. Many people have been asking for updates on it. So we were talking about it for the while that we were looking for a break of this channel. And even before then, we were saying that we're getting close to this key support level. So if I zoom back out, you can see that we landed on this support down here. So if you were able to catch this very quick move down to that support, you're already in massive gains, potentially up 44% just from that support entry. So now we're looking for a retest potentially. This red dotted line is acting as this resistance where you had two small bounces and now it was resistance at this level. Now we're testing it again as a resistance. So if you do get a pullback when Bitcoin pulls back, you're looking for a retest around the 0.272 fib level, and that's at about 73 cents for Theta. But the overhead targets are still the same. We're still trading it within this local range. The measured move of this double bottom is still up to about the $1.49 mark, pretty much $1.50. But before we get to those levels, we need to see that break above the 1-day 200 MA. So even from here, if you're just getting the retest and you trade it just up to the 200 MA, that's still about a 56% move for Theta. So really good gains are coming, at least in the short term.
Oh, yeah. All you Theta lovers in the house, let's go. Theta's going to do big things this cycle for sure. And our last chart before we end the show, guys, we will be seeing you Monday. So have your request ready. We're going to chart it all or as much as we can. And yeah, let's go. Let's see Proppy Pro to end the show.
Yeah, Pro on the 1 day. So we were waiting for this break above the 1-day 200 MA down here. And we were comparing this also to Bonk and Total 3, how they were both making similar cup and handle type patterns. And this isn't really a rounded bottom, but it still followed the same, excuse me, the same trend as those other two, just the same. So once you got that initial bounce back up to resistance, we had another pullback. And now I've added this yellow trend line as a support level. And we're looking at this break above the 200 MA. So the first move that we're looking at first is a move up to the next resistance again at about $1.17. And if this level breaks, then we can start looking at the higher target levels. So again, this is just the 1-day chart for this local range. We've had charts shown in the previous videos what the bigger patterns could be, but baby steps first. We need to see these confirmation moves happen before we get way too bullish or way too ahead of ourselves. So now that we've broken above the 1-day 200 MA, we're definitely in the right direction. So we want to see that break above this resistance around $1.18 next, and then we can consider more upside.
All right. That is exciting. I am so pumped. I don't know about you guys, but I am so excited to be here with you all for it all. I mean, we've got a long way to go. We are just getting started. It feels so. Yeah, tune in on Monday. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much, Trip and Rob, for being on the show with us today and kind of guiding us through, helping us navigate the Bitcoin map, right? It's been really exciting. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend indeed. And thank you so much for being here.
Right on. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
And oh yeah, one more thing. If you're in the USA, it's 7-Eleven. Take your kids out and get them a Slurpee for free.
There you go. There you go. Free Slurpees. Cheers. Cheers to that. All right, guys. You have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you on Monday. Talk to you later.
Cheers.